process of building a car is you need to work out how you're going to go about that and all the different parts and colours and all those sorts of things. So because of COVID, normally I'd sit down with the trimmer and do this, but because we need to sort of move forward, Simon sent over quite a few cards and we've been talking on the phone. So you can see on my desk here, I've just got all these different colours and got the internet going, and I've been talking to the owner and to try and determine exactly what colour, what style of leather, and then what perforation, if you're going to have perforation, what type of perforation with your carpet, whether you're going to have the plush pile, whether you're going to have a loop pile. So they're the sort of decisions that have got to be made all the time, and we're just working towards that. And once I make a decision, I'll let you all know what we're going to do.
G'day, Simon here from Elite Custom Interiors. We're going to get a start on Boss XC seats. Okay, so this is the original XC seat, which is pretty cool. I don't mind it. It's very wide and bulky, but we've got these seats. All right, they're going to bolt straight in. So I want to keep a bit of this sort of flavour. I like the perforated for design. I like it's all one piece with the headrest. So we'll pretty much do that, but on these seats, just modernise it. The things we don't need from the modern seats, we don't need a separate headrest and we don't need the airbags. So I've already stripped this seat. Okay, I'll just take this foam off, and I've taken the airbag out. It leaves a big hole in the foam here where the airbag usually sits. But what I'm going to do is pretty much cut all this foam off, and we're not using these listings anymore. We're going to change the whole design up. So I will cut all that up, put my own foam on there, and then reshape it from there. Okay, so we're going to be taking these foams off and starting to cut into them now, so I can start adding my foam and reshaping them. So the base of this suits these frames, okay? So we're going to utilise that. What I'm going to do is take out all the old Velcro, because we don't need it, and then start cutting into this here. Velcro's be gone. Okay, so I've taken out all the Velcro listings, all right? The Velcro is usually what the cover will stick to hold the cover on. Good for a cloth seat. We're going leather, probably not ideal anyway. So what I'm gonna do now is pretty much just cut down here through the insert so I can start cutting these parts here off and divide this up and change it and use my own shape of foam. Okay, I'm just going to mark here my cut line. So this shape here, which is the part I'm going to get rid of, all right? So I'm just going to mark along there where I'm cutting so I can run that through the bandsaw. Same on both sides. That's it.
So leading on from last week, I talked about bolts and the cost and which direction I'd take. So I've mocked up here, this is the crossover, which you'll see later, and some options that I found that I can use and it's available. So this is the ARP I was talking about last week, and then I've got like an Allen key, a Torx bolt or a traditional hex, and then in addition to that you can obviously go a hex without the washer built in. So they're pretty much all available in stainless, and I've ended up deciding I'm going to run with the Torx. I just like the look of it, the size of it. I think the ARP just ended up a little bit big. So we're going to run those, and they're a little bit hard to get in 716, but I'm going to use the M8s because they're basically the same size. So on the back of that then we need a nut. So then we're looking at probably these in a stainless. So they're the serrated edge, self-locking. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'll use. The other options were Nylock, but I think Nyloc's probably not too good with the heat from the exhaust, or a spring washer with a traditional nut. So that's the only thing I've really got to work out. I've got all the others ordered. I've ended up doing that through the net, especially with COVID at the moment. So that solves that problem. And the other thing, someone asked a question on last week's video in relation to why I chose to use mild steel rather than stainless. As I mentioned, I don't do this very often. I think probably 10 or 12 years since I built the last set of pipes, and the mild steel's a lot easier for me to work with. When you weld stainless, it tends to walk around a bit on you. So I really wasn't prepared to go down that track, and the owner was more than happy for me to use mild steel. And those pipes will now be ceramic coated as well. So that keeps the heat down. The stainless ones tend to get a bit warm, and you're really probably a bit reluctant to use coating over the top of a nice set of stainless pipes. So that's why we've gone with the mild steel. So one of the keys to getting a car finished on time is planning. And whilst I think I'm reasonably good at it, sometimes very good plans don't always come off. So you'll see here that some time ago I put up here what we're going to do with Boss XC, and I had dates for steel work and filler and primer in there, and as you can see I've rubbed them out because they didn't work out real good. So the car was meant to go off to the trimmer on the 15th of July, so the body was meant to go to him. So that hasn't happened, so I've decided to start sending the parts out. So this week we sent some bits over to Simon at Elite to enable him to get started and for us to continue here. So I reckon I'm probably 6 weeks behind. So now I've got to make plans how I'm going to catch that up, and at the same time not hold Simon up to let him do what he needs to do. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. They look pretty consistent from underneath. Got good looking flow. So the complication of using this oval pipe continues, and this is what's going on now to make the tailpipe up so that we can actually get it up and over the diff, around some corners, and then through the flange, and then out the tailpipe, and then that tailpipe's got a step in it as well. So with round, you normally put a bend in it, or it's way more simple, but we're getting there. So then once you put it all together, you end up with something that looks like this. So that step takes us out around to make a square with the back bumper, and then up and over the diff and around, which we've seen before, so I won't go in there. And then looking from the side, that'll come up like that. Oh, there's Heather in the background. So side on, I think that tailpipe will look really good. So we'll only just see a bit sticking out there. And then what we're going to do is we've got to make a stainless steel tip to go on there. It'll be similar shape to that, but a little bit wider. So same depth, but a bit wider. And it'll be pretty much the same size as that. So it's Saturday morning. Man can't live in the shed every day. So I decided earlier in the week that I'd try and get a game of golf in today. So Thursday was a lovely day. Friday the wind started to come up, and today it's forecast to blow a gale, but I've decided to go out and brave the elements anyhow. So I'm going to give that a go today. Last night came out and tried to make some progress on these extractors, because it seems the only time I can get to do that is when no one else is here. So being COVID, I had to go at it Thursday, Friday, on and off, and last night made some progress. Friday night's always been my shed night, so I seem to get the most done on a Friday night. Pretty happy when I went inside about 10 o'clock. Come out this morning, had a look, and not really that impressed with what I've done, so I'm just going to make a few changes to Savo. So I'm really trying to work towards getting this exhaust system finished. It's been a bit drawn out, but it is fairly complicated. I'm going to try and tidy it up this weekend and we can move on to other things. Okay, on the other end. So this is where I got to Friday night. So I've got that loop in there trying to do something similar to the other side, but this pipe here, I'm not really happy with the shape of that, so I'm going to try and bring it down and bring it in line with the others to make it flow a bit better. More for aesthetics than anything else, but it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to give that a go, and we'll give you a look at that as I progress. The reason for the towel here is I keep bloody banging my bald head underneath there, so I thought I'd better do something about that. So I ended up getting that game of golf in. Blew pretty hard, but it wasn't a bad day out. It was good to get out of the workshop. Actually had a game with Warren Williams, a mate of mine. He's a local boy, met him over at the golf club, and he's a car / motorbike head as well, so it was a good catch up there. He's got a nice F100 and a Harley that he gets around on. So had a good day out. Pretty hard work in the wind, so I ended up not getting out here last night. So this morning I got up early, cleaned up the yard, absolute bloody mess out there, so I cleaned all that up, and now just finished watching qualifying, so I'm going to get into it and get this, try and get this extractor sorted out. So that's a whole lot better now. I've shortened this one up a bit and then put a bend in this one back the other way so these pipes can run in together and all look like they're going in the right direction. So now all I have to do is to get this pipe here, work out where I'm going to go here. So I'm going to do that, then I'll start making all these bottom ones out of steel and get that all together. So here it is, not 100% finished, but very close. So the tailpipes are going to have like a stainless steel extension on them, which we'll make later. Those pipes now all fit, and they've got mounts at the back of the muffler itself, and then there'll be another mount that'll be made up similar to that that'll go on the tailpipes back pretty much in the same place as the originals were. So this week's plug, PPG. I've been using PPG for as long as I can remember. Remembering I'm a sort of 1 car a year guy now, and prior to that was about every 3 years. And because of that, I've always stuck with a premium product, and these guys have been really good in support to be able to help me to know how to go down the process. And obviously over the years now, I've got to a stage where I trust the product, but also understand the process and how it all works. So this particular product I've got here, this is the one, the green that you see on the car, this colour here. So that's the only paint I really use right up until we get to the paint stage. So it's an epoxy urethane primer. It's designed to go over bare metal. It seals the metal off, keeps the rust away, and it needs to be under everything. So regardless of where it is, underneath, engine bay, on the outside of the car, it needs to be sealed up with epoxy. It's important when you're using this sort of stuff. These are available just through Google. They're the data sheets from PPG, and it'll tell you exactly what you can and can't do with the product. I often get people asking me comments about, you know, how do I do this, what do I do with that? It's all listed on here and tells you all about it. One of the big things I find with it that I like is that at 25 degrees, this dries in 25 minutes. So if you're using normal hardener, normal thinner, 25 minutes after you apply it, you can then put body filler or spray putty straight over the top of it. So if you're working on a panel and you've got some cut throughs, you can blow a bit of this on it, and 30 minutes later you can put more filler over it. So I try and work towards lunch and then put some on at lunch, before lunch, come back after lunch and can go straight over the top of it. The other little trick is, and the reason I've got the slow thinner here, is if you're going to leave a panel for a while, if you've got most of your work done and you want it to look nice, if you use the slow thinner, it tends to lay down a lot nicer and doesn't sort of have that dry look about it. So if you want it to come out nice and be presentable when it's sitting around the shed, or if you're doing videos like we are, then the slow thinner is a good trick. So PPG make this one. This is in their Vibrance range, but they also have a PPG 2K epoxy urethane primer. It's in one of their other ranges. I don't use it because I like to stay with the one. So if I'm using Vibrance, I use Vibrance. If I'm using Deltron, I use Deltron. The other 2K is more cost effective, but I don't believe it's nice to work with, but it's another option. So if you're looking for a quality product, PPG's the place to go, and they have a couple of different options with the epoxies. So what a crazy world we're living in, eh? So I'm trying to sit here tonight, Sunday night, trying to work out what the go is with the COVID, how I'm going to make that work. I've registered the place, so as you all know, I work from home, so I'll be able to work, but really hard to get the right information to know how we go about things and who can and who can't. Just sat on the phone for half an hour trying to wait for someone to talk to find out a bit more information, but that didn't work, so I'll just keep powering ahead myself, but yeah, it's an interesting times. So I hope you enjoyed what I've shown you this week, and hopefully we can get on to something new for next week, but I'm just really trying to get this exhaust done. It's turned into an absolute monster job, and with all the interruptions now makes it a bit harder, but we'll keep going, and fortunately I can do most of the filming, and all the filming now because Josh can't come over, and then I'm just sending it over to him, transfer the files over, and he does the edit and gets it up. So thanks for joining us again, and look forward to bringing you something new next week. Righto, so leading on from last week, I talked about bolts and exhaust. What I've done today is to look at, let's do this again, tonight.